any like documents. They just care the DSCR is 1.25, but obviously you're going to pay a higher interest rate for that. So, when I was refinancing my 20 unit, I thought about using a DSCR lender, but I got quoted 11%. But Bank of the West, which is who I used for my 26 unit, they gave me 7%. But it was such a pain in the butt 90 days to do that cash out refinance, and they scrutinize everything. 3 years of tax returns. And let me tell you, if you renovate 40 units of real estate, your tax return is not going to look pretty. My tax return is ugly, despite working a full-time high-income W-2, relatively speaking, compared to most real estate investors. They scrutinize everything. Like, why did your W-2 income go down over the past 3 years? I was just like, well, I got laid off.
Yeah.
And number two, I relocated from NorCal to SoCal, and they pay less here. So, between those two, of course I'm going to get paid less. So
that's not a DSCR loan. What kind of loan was it that you took out?
For the DSCR?
For the 26 unit.
I use Bank of the West for both. It's just a traditional financing, 25% down. It's recourse debt. And my 26 unit, I had a 4% interest rate, 10 years fixed, amortized over 30 years. My 20 unit, it's 7%, and then it's 7-year fixed, and it's amortized over, I think, 30 years as well. So Bank of the West got bought by Bank of Montreal, so they're going through a transition.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if I'd Bank of the West, because I'm in Oklahoma, it's a smaller market. Not many national lenders like lending there as much. So you have to be a little more flexible with that. But I know so many different lenders. Like, I have so many brokers that I work with, as well as lenders I just know, because you need multiple lenders as you scale, right? Because it's building that relationship, and that's how you get low money down deals, right? Like, if you build a relationship, that's how you get 10% down on apartment complexes. But you have to cash flow very well and buy it right. And the only way you can do that is if you go off market, to be honest, like truly off market with no broker involved.
Yeah. What did you say, Kat? Having trouble hearing you.
Sorry, one more time, Kat.
What?
Oh yeah, I think we can't hear you. It sounds kind of muddy.
Yeah. Maybe type.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better.
Better? I just use the computer. Hearing problems. So I was wondering, is it because if you have, if you get from a broker, you're going to end up, the rent roll that you're collecting is essentially not that great to cover the debt service unless you go direct.
So the issue of the broker is, what's the objective of the broker? They want to make a commission, right? So the higher the sales side price is, and you get 3% commission, you do the math, they get paid more. So how do you justify a higher price? They inflate the net operating income. So what's net operating income? It's income minus expense. So what they do is they inflate the income by showing you pro forma rents, like what it could be. And they decrease the income, by saying, oh, the expense is only 30%. But any operator knows your expense is not 30%. I own 2 apartment complexes in Oklahoma. My expense is 55% on average. So by doing that, they're inflating the NOI, which inflates the value. So that's what they basically do. So because of that, I don't like it. And I will make an offer, they'll list it for 1.5 million. I'll just offer them $1 million. And I know they're going to say no. But I'm like, yeah, based on my calculations, assuming 25% down and whatever the interest rate is, this is how I hit the DSCR of 1.25. This is how my lender's going to underwrite it. So either A, give me the lower price, or B, I'll give you 1.5 million, but I want to seller financing on this deal. And I want terms so I can cash flow. So that's how I kind of negotiate. But a lot of times, once you say creative finance to a broker, they move on from you because it's too much work and they don't understand what it is. 90% of the time. So for me, I'd rather build trust directly with, the owner And, just being in healthcare, I talk to a lot of patients. It's easy to build a relationship, we're obviously a little bit more trusted, but just once you build that relationship, it's just so much easier to like negotiate it, because basically they become the bank.
Mhm.
And the bank needs to vet the person paying them, and they want to feel like they know and trust them.
So do they bring an agent to close, or?
Nope. No one in the middle, just me, and then the buyer, the seller, and title. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I draft up the contract. I do everything. I work with the lender. I coordinate title. I do everything, A through Z.
Even the guy, the lawyer that sold you the complex, you drafted that? He didn't draft that?
Oh, for that guy, he
Yeah.
actually did draft it for me,
drafted,
because
okay.
he was actually a broker himself.
Okay.
He just did it to save money. But then when I saw his form, it was a generic form that you find online.
Got it.
Right. So once I saw that, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do the same thing for my 20. So for my 20, I literally drafted the contract myself and I sent it over to him. He signed it, and after that, I just sent it to title, and we opened escrow. That's it.
Got it.
Right. It's that easy. Like, it's not rocket
Mhm.
scientist. Like, it's the easiest thing ever. Right.
Mhm.
Or worst case, if you have to pay a lawyer, then so what? Right. Like, you pay a
Mhm.
lawyer like something, but
Mhm.
only like Alabama, they're a title attorney state. They don't have title companies. It's title attorneys only. But every other state, if you can reach out to like, what is it, American Title Company? Like, there's so many of them. You can ask, hey, like, I'm looking to make an offer. Do you have a sample purchase sale agreement that I can use? They might give it to you for free because they want your
Yeah.
business. So like, people
Mhm.
freak out about that stuff. But yeah, obviously if you're doing creative financing, like Oklahoma, they have forms for creative financing as well. But if your
Mhm.
state doesn't have the forms, then at that point you might need to get like an attorney. But it's pretty basic, right? Like, you want to keep the forms as simple as possible.
Mhm.
Like, people tend to overcomplicate things. Like, we work in healthcare, right? Sometimes we're guilty. We overcomplicate things, but half the time they don't even understand what they're saying. So you just dumb it down. Like, okay, whatever. You're gonna carry $1 million at 5% interest only over the next 10 years. I'm gonna pay you this much every month. If I'm late on the 5th, then I pay whatever 5% late fee on top of that. And yeah, just pretty basic generic stuff, right? Like, nothing out of the ordinary. And you can always hire an attorney if you want to do that.
Got it.
So I think that's just the fear that people have. Like, it's not as scary as you think. Like, I'm literally a pharmacist. I literally have nothing to do with real estate. My family doesn't do anything with real estate at all. Like, and I could figure it out, right? And that was even about my mentor. Like, he kind of didn't really help me after that. I've been kind of like on my own afterwards.
I'm curious because you pay quite a bit talking about the mentor. Like, what exactly that you thought was most helpful from his mentorship?
Honestly,
because it seems like you did a lot of things on your own. So I don't know if that helped you as much as
just diving in.
mentors advertise. Like the mentors are like, my mentee did this, because it took my class. But like, I don't know how much the person helped you. I'm just curious.
So basically,
Yeah.
honestly, my mentorship was like $15,000 to join, right? It ranges from 15K to 30K to 45K. And honestly, like I said, the education, it's nothing like new, like nothing you can't find online. Like, even like my course in mentorship, right? But the difference is that it's just more structured. But what really helped me was just seeing people just like me, who work the day job just like me, buying apartment complexes left and right. And that gave me the hope, because like I was just like you not too long ago. I'm like, oh, I own a couple of single family homes. I imagine you bought in Bakersfield is more affordable, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Compared to like OC. But I would never think like, oh, only Richie will buy apartment complexes. So once I saw people buying apartment complexes left and right, I was just like, wait, I could buy a 30-unit apartment complex for $1 million? Like, what? And then because I was buying $1 million single family homes every year. To me, I was just like, well, $1 million not out of my price range. I can do 25% down, whatever. And that's when I bought it, and then I scaled. But what makes me successful in that program, it just really depends how action oriented you are. Like, if you're willing to consistently send out letters like I was, if you're willing to make offers like I was, if you're willing to follow up with leads like I was, if you're willing to talk to multiple lenders, property managers, general contractors, if you really, like for me, if I really focus, I can find a deal in 6 months easily. Right now, I'm not even looking for a deal, right? But I know when I'm ready to buy, whenever that is, I can find a deal in 6 months, right? So that's where most people fail, is they try it and they don't continue it, right? But for me, I'm the type where like I will do it until I get it. So it's really that. But then also my skill too is like I can figure things out pretty fast on the fly, right? Like you're gonna make mistakes. You know, I made $100,000 worth of mistakes, honestly, over the past 2 years. So that's why I try to teach it in my channel and all that stuff. And you know, when I kind of, you know, what I didn't like about that mentorship was that I felt like it wasn't realistic a bit as well. Like, and then there was like no community. So I couldn't really see other people doing it. It was like, we didn't know who each other were. So it's kind of funny. Like a lot of them were actually reaching.
Oh, there's no like forums or anything.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know, like who, like it's all anonymous and like all that stuff. So like sometimes like they would reach out to me because they found out my channel. And they were just like attending my sessions. And they're like, wow, your session is better than like that mentor's sessions, and like mine are free. I don't even charge. Right? It's free. You just can hop on and ask me questions and I'll answer it. And post it. So, and then I'm pretty like honest about like what to expect when buying real estate, right? Like a lot of people, you know, gurus, of course, they want to kind of give you the upside of it because they want to get you excited. They want you to, you know, enjoy it, feel justified for your purchase price and all that, and all that. So, you know, I definitely benefited from it. So, you know, I can't knock on it. It definitely helped me scale, but you do have to give equity if you do partner with a mentor. So I had to basically.
I heard that. Yeah, I heard Randy told me that the first deal you gave him 50%, or he.
Yeah, I had to give him 50% equity, but to me, it just seems kind of like a little bit. On
top of the membership.
Yeah, it's just a little bit like, because if I lose money, it's not like he's gonna split half the cost.
Yeah. No.
Right. But only when I make money, I have to give him half the money. Right. So
does he even put money into you or no?
No, no money in the deal. So
you were looking for a deal for him. That's basically what it.
Basically, it's you know, I find the deal, I finance it, and what he does is at the end, let's say if I cash out refinance it, he'll give me back my down payment, he'll give me back my renovation cost, he'll pay me 6% interest on my money that I invested in. And after that, we split 50-50 up to like $500,000. Right. So that's a great fee, right? And at this point, to be honest, he's not even helping me. I'm pretty much self-running this thing
all
myself.
the taxes.
Well, we cash out refinance, there's no tax, right? It's
yeah, I mean, but
yeah. So, you know, I'm just like, wait a second, if I can do that, like that's what got me inspired. But I'm just like, I don't want to take like half people's equity. Like my goal is just to like teach people and all that. So it just felt a little bit, you know, a little predatory for me. But you know, I can't knock any mentor because like, you know, he helped me get to where I am. He changed my mindset to get me where I am today. He just removed that belief for me. But you know, so definitely it shortcutted my success, and that's just the cost you have to pay if you want to shortcut yourself. So, you know, that's why I try to do the same where, you know, I can teach people, help them. You know, some of my other students, you know, they bought apartment complexes in, you know, like other states as well. Like some are targeting like Mississippi, some San Antonio, Texas. And like they just hop on and ask questions and I just answer it. So it's a lot more, you know, I'm not getting an equity deal because I just doesn't think it's fair. Like, you know, obviously, like, yeah, you kind of have some skin in the game. So I'm just like, great for him. That's a great business model for him. Like, but you know, I think people only do one deal with him and then they kind of like go and do their own thing. So, you know, I learned a lifelong skill from that, and you know, I'm gonna take it for the rest of my life. Right? I'm still relatively pretty young. So, I mean, if I buy real estate for the rest of for another 40 more years. I mean, I have way more wealth than I know what to do with, to be honest. So for that purpose, the consulting fee that I do have to pay in the grand scheme of things across my lifespan, it's worth it. Right. So, you know, but yeah, I wouldn't ethically feel right doing the same. So unless I'm investing myself in the deal, right? Like if I'm signing my name on a loan, if I'm in you know, because sometimes like people put in the money, I can put in the knowledge, but no money and help with the operations, right? But I didn't feel like that was really the case. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, at the time you're just freaking out. You want someone to hold your hand, right? It's your first deal. But once I did it, I was just like, oh, this is easy. I can do it myself. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what I did, right? So,
Mhm.
you know, but don't get me wrong. Like you could, you know, I bought right. So most of my deals hit. My mobile home park, I'm probably gonna break even on that one. So, you know, I just wasted 2 years and learned a lot about mobile home parks, just to break even. But you can also lose money too. So I think for me, I just was hoping by having somebody more a step or two ahead of me, it would mitigate my downside. But just by me buying it under market already mitigated my downside. So once I learned that, I was like, oh, I don't necessarily need, you know,
broker.
yeah, or to give up that type of equity. So, so yeah, that's how I kind of thought about it. You know, obviously I'm a huge proponent of it because if you can shortcut your success, because basically there's two things in life: time and money. What do you value more right now? When you don't have money, you have time that you can give up. But when you have money, or you want your time back. So at that point, you start to buy back your time, right? That's the whole point of investing in real estate, right? Like, I want to be able to afford a maid to clean my house. I don't have to clean it and to do that type of stuff. So, yeah, you have to assess whether, you know, time or money is more important for you, right? So, yeah, that's what I kind of did. So most of my students, to be honest, you know, they have kids, they working, they have elderly parents they're taking care of, so they have a lot of like obligations, and they're still trying to buy like real estate as well. So, you know, I understand kind of the struggles because I'm juggling. I'm living proof, right? I'm literally working full time. I commute like 2 hours a day.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, I'm managing 90 units, and then I still have time to like teach real estate, right? So, you know, I know exactly what everyone's going through, and it's more realistic, right? So, versus people like, oh, I can teach you how to scale 100 units in a day or like in a year. So, yeah, that's kind of my experience in mentorship. It just really depends how you like to learn. That's what I would describe it as.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a strategy question?
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to picture in my head like this the deal flow, because you had said that you renovate them, you bring up the value, like that one that was 800,000, and then now it's going to double, and then you're going to cash out refinance, and then you cash out refinance, but these are like 30-year amortized, but a at 7% or whatever it was for 7 years. At the end of the 7 years, then there's a balloon payment, right? For the rest
Correct.
of them.
So you have to refinance before then or sell it.
Right. So if you're in the process of thinking of you want to build your portfolio, because my process is trying to just long-term hold and just getting many apartments. What is then the strategy then? Because then actually at the 7-year mark, you're not actually looking to sell it. You're going to continue to keep, building your portfolio. If you keep selling, then you're just going to keep doing the same thing, which is just renovate and rinse and repeat.
Correct. So, basically with, commercial real estate, yeah, it's typically fixed. You get 1 year fixed, 3-year fixed, 5, 7, and 10. So for me, if you're fixed for 10 years, usually a higher interest rate versus if you're fixed for 1 or 3 years, right? So,
but more risk.
Yeah, because there's more risk. So for me, I always encourage, people to do at least 7 to 10 years. The one thing you have to be cognizant of is the prepayment penalty. So it's a percentage of the loan. So how a prepayment penalty works is they call it 5, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So year one, if you were to refinance a loan, you pay 5% of your loan amount. Year 2, it's 4%. Year 3, it's 3%. Year 2, it's 2%. Year 5, it's 1%. So it steps down, right? But yes, if you do have like a 7-year loan or 10-year loan and it's due, yes, you're technically forced to do a refinance. So what most people do is, because remember, the value of your apartment complex is based on the net operating income. Well, what happens over the span of 7 years? Your rent will organically increase, right? So for me, my market rent is $700 right now. So when I bought it, it was $400. So I'm renovating it. fixing it up. And then I raised the rents from 400, which was below market, to 700, which is market. But then once 700 is the market, then every year, organically, the rent might go up by like 3%. So over 7-10 years, your rent will go up pretty significantly. So now your NOI went up, right? And then the cap rate might even go down too. So that might increase the value. So you can do a refinance, cash out refinance, where you're pulling out money again, right? Or you just can do a refinance where you just refinance it, and then you just keep the same loan amount. You don't pull any money out, but you're forced to basically constantly refinance unless you just pay off your portfolio, right? Like that's what I was saying earlier. I'm not sure if you heard it, but my loan is only 390K for both of my apartment complexes. Once I'm done renting out all the units, I'm gonna cash flow 10K a month, right? 10K a month is 120K a year. If I took all the money back and reinvested back to my apartment complex, in 3 years, I'll pay off my apartment complex and I own it free and clear. And by then I might be grossing, maybe 20K a month, right? So, once you remove your loan, then you'll be like cash flowing like maybe, 13, 14K a month. So it depends how you want to do it. Like I was all about scale, but now that I'm going through a recession, this is my first recession I'm going through, to be honest. I was still in high school back in 08, so I wasn't there at that time. So this is the first time I'm going through a recession, and it's kind of making me learn that you kind of want to have what I call a financial foundation. So what's that financial foundation for me? That might be 2 paid off apartment complexes, right? That's grossing me 30K a month, and maybe I'm netting 20K a month. And once I'm netting 20K a month, I can basically leave my job, or if I don't mind working, continue to work my job and use that 20K to reinvest in more real estate, right? And at that point, you can then buy another apartment complex, and then you can start to scale again and then build another foundation, right? So that's how I kind of pivoted myself. Because if I keep on leveraging, and let's say I keep on cash out refinance, because obviously if it's 6 million, I do 75% loan to value, I can pull out like all my down payment, all my renovation costs, plus additional money on top, right? And obviously I'm about to give some half to my mentor. So it just really depends. But I just will say that, like, to be honest, if you're buying real estate yourself, you don't need that many units as you think. Like, honestly, for me, my 50 units, I just can buy that, pay off, and stop. I'll be grossing 30K a month, and rents will organically increase. And then I can literally sell my single family homes, which have like a lot of equity in it, and then buy apartment complexes cash in another state. So it just really depends what your goal is. Like my goal was 20K a month net passive income, and then I would leave my day job. But I'm even kind of thinking now, like once you hit 20K a month, 30K a month, 40K a month, I mean, it's a lot of money, but like your quality of life won't improve that much, to be honest. Like once you just can have the option to leave your day job, and you free up your time, at that point, you just can really focus on like what you want to do. So I'm a little bit more like lifestyle oriented. I don't know. I might have kids that hate real estate. They don't want to inherit my huge real estate portfolio, right? So that's always a fear, right? Or a possibility. So, it just really depends what your goal. But I think if you lay a financial foundation where you're not stressed, and because leverage is good, right? Like debt, there's good debt and bad debt. But at the end of the day, debt still kind of weighs on you. Like I'm 5 million in debt right now. Just real estate loans. No, wait, sorry, 7 million. I shortchanged myself. $7 million in debt, right? And I'm personally guaranteeing this debt. So if one apartment complex fails, they're gonna come after my single family homes or my other properties. But you can get non-recourse debt at a higher interest rate, where if you go bankrupt, they won't come after your other properties. They'll just take that property, right? But you have to pay for that higher interest rate. So I have thought about pivoting towards non-recourse debt as well. So, it really depends what your goal is for that. And your goal constantly changes. So I guess my question would be like, what is your goal? Like, what's your goal of the real estate, and how much real estate do you currently own right now?
Myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, my goal is to continue to just keep building long-term rentals so that at some point it, because I have a considerable amount in retirement, but I would like for half of it, half of my living to come from real estate and the other half to come from from 401k and from my retirement money because it's taxed differently, right? Because the real estate won't be taxed the way the money that I draw from retirement is, because I have a lot of money in retirement. And, obviously I could do things differently in the way I put money away, because, obviously I've been trying to, because of high wages, or high W-2, try to stock more money into the 401k being tax deferred. But at this point, it's a kind of a balance, because the more you put away, because I do mega backdoor and all these different things, the more you put away, you can't touch that. And so you have less money of this post-tax money to use towards investing in real estate.
So yeah, you lose liquidity, right? But you could self-direct your retirement account and buy real estate.
Yeah, I have a self-directed 401k. So I've been thinking about using it for a non-recourse loan.
But to me, to be honest, because real estate's a rate tax advantage, why would you use a tax advantage vehicle to buy a tax advantage vehicle, right? Like, you want real estate to be, it's a rate tax advantage. So like,
exactly.
like scenario, like right now, I'm single, unmarried, W-2, but because I have so many losses off real estate, I can't write off my active income because I'm not a real estate professional, right? So my passive losses carry forward. But if I were to get married to somebody, and let's just say they work part-time, let's say they work 2 days a week, so 20 hours a week, but they do 21 hours in real estate, managing my real estate portfolio, they qualify as the real estate professional status.
Yeah.
In that point, my passive losses can offset my income, right? So it's actually worth it, actually more cost effective for whoever I marry to be part-time, so we can reap the benefits of real estate professional tax status, right? And that's what a lot of people I know do too, where like you have two high income earners, right? So if you're making 200K each or 250K each, that's $500,000. Half that goes to taxes.
Yeah.
Right? You're paying 250K in taxes to Uncle Sam, and you pocket 250K. If one of you just, like, let's say, quit your job completely, you only have 250K gross, but then you do real estate, and that real estate offsets your 250K, you pay zero in taxes. You have the same net, and one of you is working part, not even working, right? So that's the beauty of real estate. Or if they work part-time, then you maybe be, grossing, close to 400,000, and then you can offset that income too with real estate.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the name of the game, right? Like it's how you play it for that. And, when you're high income W-2, we're very fortunate to be able to have this luxury, right? And like you said, the money's more liquid compared to the 401k. It's trapped there until you're like 60s, or I don't even know the age, but to me, I want to retire in my 40s. I don't want to retire in 60. So you kind of need access to some of that capital. So that's what's nice about real estate, is that it does allow some liquidity to an extent as well. So, definitely, doable to diversify, but it's kind of hard because, like, a lot of the wealthy people, what they do is you go all in on one thing. And once you've built your wealth through that, then you diversify. I'm not sure if that concept makes sense. So for me, I'm diving in headfirst into real estate. Don't get me wrong, I do like whole life insurance, max funded, and index funds. That's my liquid emergency fund. But I'm scaling a huge real estate portfolio. And at that point, when I want to be less active in real estate and just want to reap the benefits of all my hard work, because it takes 3 years to stabilize an apartment complex, right? Like, to get it